We discussed virtual machines in the last course and covered how to set up a virtual machine on a personal computer. In this lesson, we're going to talk about why virtualization can be an important part of infrastructure services and systems administration. There are two ways you can run your services, either on dedicated hardware or on a virtualized instance on a server. When you virtualize a server, you're putting lots of virtual instances on one server. Each instance contains a service. There are a bunch of pros and cons to running your services on either of these platforms. Here's the rundown. Performance. A service running on a dedicated hardware will have better performance than service running in a virtualized environment. This is because you only have one service using one machine, as opposed to many services using one machine. Cost. Server hardware can be pretty expensive. If you put a service on one piece of dedicated hardware and have to do that for 9 other services, it starts to add up. One of the huge benefits to virtualizing your servers is that you can have 10 services running on 10 different virtual instances, all on one physical server. Here's another way to think about this. In a typical server, if you only have one service running, it's probably only taking up 10 to 20% of your CPU utilization. The rest of the hardware isn't being utilized. You could add plenty more services to the physical server and still have a good threshold for resource utilization. It's cheaper to run several services on one machine than it is to run many services on multiple machines. Maintenance. Servers require hardware maintenance and routine operating system updates. Sometimes you need to take the service offline to do that maintenance. With virtualized servers, you can quickly stop your service or migrate them to another physical server, then take as much time as you need for maintenance. Virtualized servers make server maintenance much easier to do. Points of failure. When you put a service on one physical machine and that machine has issues, you're entering a world of trouble. With virtualized servers, you can easily move services off a physical machine and spin up the same service on a different machine as a backup. You could also do this with a physical server, but that could become costly if you account for multiple servers. Pro tip, you can prevent a single point of failure on a physical machine if you have a redundant servers set up, meaning you have duplicate servers as a backup. You'll learn about backups in an upcoming module. As you can see, there are lots of benefits to using virtualized servers. Just make sure to weigh the pros and cons of virtualizing your servers and using dedicated server hardware. That way, you can make the right choice for your company.